The dry humping thing really resonated with me.
So I wanted to ask you guys first about the costumes because I heard there was a little bit of argument between the two of you as to what they would look like.
Well, yeah, because the movie's set in the 90s.
Uh-huh.
Aubrey kept wanting to tailor the clothes so that they fit.
I like to show off my body.
Of course.
Everything that I do.
And I had to keep explaining that, we shopped at the boys section of the Gap.
Right.
And everything looked like it was extra large, even when it was like a small. So I had to like make sure that she had no problem with the
Once
skirts.
Once she
though.
reminded me that, I remembered that everything was really big. And yes, I really like skirts.
The skirt was amazing. Did you get to keep it? I would have kept that.
I didn't get to keep it. No, but I'll buy some.
So how awkward is it to kind of basically be telling your friend like how to have sex on camera?
Well, the good thing is I don't have a lot of knowledge about sex, so I just
come on now
had I am married, so I did have sex on my wedding night.
One time.
Yeah.
2 times. You have 2 kids?
2 times.
Right.
Yes, according to my parents, I've had sex twice. But I'm not married. I just pal around with my husband. That's what my dad can't even say the word date. He just says palling around. And I'm like, my husband? You write something like Brandy masturbates and her sister walks in on her, and then then the cast does it. So my job is easy. It's more on her.
Yeah, you kind of had the tough end of the situation.
Yeah,
there.
I masturbated.
I heard for hours on end too to get what you guys needed to get.
Hours and hours.
Yeah.
It was an entire day of masturbating. Maggie wanted it just right. In fact, she just kind of let me do it for a couple hours. She left set for a while, and I just kept going and going and going.
Well, I actually really thought this movie was great because there's so many movies about like teenage guys trying to lose their virginity. And what do you think?
Boring.
Yeah, we've seen it all before. We have not seen this before.
We get it. You put it in there and then it's over.
Right, exactly. This is much more complicated.
I know.
I think. So what do you think people are going to see that's kind of different from this movie than those films?
I think we get a little bit of insight to what girls talk about. For me, it wasn't surprising. I don't think for a lot of people for the females, it's not surprising, but I did, in the early stages of the script, friends that would read it, they were like, oh, did girls really talk that way? And I can only speak for myself, not even for anyone else, but...
I think they did.
Yeah.
And I think it's cool because you've never really seen a movie where you see girls figuring it out.
Yeah.
Which was the original title of the movie.
Yep. Girls figuring it out.
Girl figures it out.
I like the to-do
list.
a little bit better. Well, I know you said this wasn't autobiographical, but obviously you did pull things from being a teenager in the script, and I'm sure you kind of did the same in playing this character.
Oh, yeah.
So were there some specific scenarios that were maybe really true to life?
Well, I am from the olden days. I grew up pretty much before the internet. So that was something that was really, I didn't realize it as much when I was writing it, how actually things have changed so much with how kids socialize, how like dating and the whole boy thing. And we had a lot of face-to-face interaction back in the 90s, and also a lot of like, you would have to go to someone's house to talk to them, or we had busy signals on the phone. Sometimes you would dial a phone and you couldn't get through. So
imagine that.
I know. So I had to explain that to the young cast. Yes. But it was, it was fun.
Yeah. I drew on the dry humping thing really resonated with me.
But it's nice that dry humping can cross generations.
Yeah, yeah.
Millennials will understand dry humping
totally.
as well as like the kids from the 90s.
Yeah.